There we go. Yeah. So just settle in and take a moment and allow yourself to open up to whatever's present right now. You can close your eyes or maybe just lower the gaze. Noticing the breath. Notice sensations in the body. Notice those areas that might be holding tension in this moment. Notice areas that already feel relaxed as well. Allow your awareness to open up to all the sensations that you're experiencing. Notice your energy level. Notice the thoughts that are on your mind at this time. Allow yourself to become aware of the thoughts. And don't try to push the thoughts away or try to resist them. Just allow them to be there, but maybe give yourself permission to take a step back from the thoughts. Allow yourself to begin to deepen your breath. We're going to do a breathing technique that we haven't done in a while. We're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing allows the breath to balance between the right and left nostril. Throughout the day, it alternates, and sometimes it's more predominant in one side or the other. Very rarely is it completely balanced, but this helps to balance your energy level. So just take a few breaths in and out. And then we're going to just take our index finger and close off our left nostril and inhale through the right. And exhale right. Now close the right nostril, inhale left. And exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale left. Once more on each side. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale left. And exhale left. Now on your next inhale, take your arms out to the sides and begin to lift the arms up overhead. Bring your palms together and exhale, release your hands down to the center of your chest. Lower your chin down. Allow yourself to inhale, lift the arms up. And on the exhale, sweep your arms out. Open the space between the right hand and left. Flex your hands as you bring them down beside the hips and lower your chin to the chest. Turn your palms up, inhale. Lift the arms up. Bring those palms together and exhale. Releasing the hands down, draw them down through the center of the chest. Let the thumbs rest on the sternum. Now once again, inhale, lift your arms up. But this time on the exhale, interlace your fingers. Inhale, pressing the palms up. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed, lengthen through the torso. Just press the palms up. This is an anti-anxiety acupressure move. And on the exhale, sweep those arms out, really stretching from the right hand to the left, and allow those hands to come down beside the hips, slightly behind your back. Scoot over here a little bit. And just allow yourself to let those hands rest down beside your hips. Notice how that feels across the chest. And this might be enough for you, but maybe you walk your hands a little closer together and back. Just allowing yourself to work those fingertips closer together. Now you can stay right there, just don't press into the hands, or possibly you interlace those fingers and press the palms together and move those hands out away from your body. And breathe. Now inhale, and on the exhale, let's bring that left hand over to our right hip and glance toward that right shoulder. So coming into a seated twist. Allow yourself to take this gently to begin with. Since we're focusing on our back here, we just want to make sure that we don't over twist, don't create any kind of pinching in the back or any spasming. We just want to allow it to be a gentle twist, only going to where your body's ready to let it go in this moment. And then inhale, coming back to center, and on the exhale, bringing that left hand behind the hip, bring your right hand over to meet that left hip as well, and just twist through your torso. And then inhale, coming back to center. Now inhale, lift those shoulders up by the ears, squeeze them up by the ears, and on the exhale, draw the shoulders back and release them down. Inhale, bring the shoulders forward and up, and exhale, back and down. Little shoulder massage here. Inhale, shoulders forward and up, and exhale, back and down. And once more, inhale, forward, up, and exhale, back and down. Now we're going to go ahead and come into a little bit of lateral flexion of the spine, placing your right hand next to your hip on the mat, just flat next to your hip, and then maybe lift your left arm up, and then we might hinge over to the right a little bit. So we're just going to take it real gentle and slow here to begin with. Keep it close to the body. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, release your left hand. Inhale, lift your right arm up. And on the exhale, hinge over to the left a little bit. So keeping it gentle, keeping that elbow in close to the side. Allow yourself not to push too deeply right now. And then inhale, come back up to center. And on the exhale, let that right hand come down. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Now we're going to begin to hinge over once again. This time you might slide that hand out from the body. So allow yourself to go a little deeper now, maybe pushing into that right hand, push your left hip out. You can even bend that right elbow slightly. And then inhale, come back up to center. And on the exhale, release your left hand. Inhale, lifting the right arm. Exhale, hinge over to the left. And allow yourself to either stay here or slide that hand out from the body, pressing into the hand. And maybe bending that elbow. And inhale, come back up to center, and exhale and release. Now let's bring our attention into our hips. We're going to take some hip circles here. We want to keep our spine tall and straight. So this is great for relieving low back and hip tension. So allow yourself to sit up tall and then begin to hinge to the right from your hips. Allow yourself to let this movement generate from your hips and only go as far as your hips will allow. And then allow yourself to hinge forward. Bring your torso to center, over to the left, and then back to where we began. So notice if this movement was generated from the hips. If not, if you feel like you're overcompensating with the shoulders and neck, maybe make smaller movements. We just want to release some of that tension through the pelvis. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll complete this circle, and then when we find our way back to center, we'll pause here. And now we're going to go to the left. And now we're going to hinge forward. Take it over to the right. And then back to center. So take your time and Make the movement small so that you can keep the engagement in the hips. And we'll take one more circle in this direction. And then we'll find our way back to where we began. Now from here, we're going to come into another twist for the spine. We're going to keep our right leg forward and take our left leg back, coming into a Z-sit, and allow yourself to adjust the legs until you're comfortable in sitting upright. We're going to bring our attention into our hips a little bit before we move into a twist. I want you to focus on lengthening the spine up, and then on the exhale, tuck your tailbone under slightly. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, and exhale, again, tuck the tailbone slightly. And once more, inhale, sit up tall, and on the exhale, tuck the tailbone under. So just feeling your pelvis tilt just slightly. And then inhale back up to center, and on the exhale, we're going to bring both hands over to the right side of the body. So now we're twisting through the waist, but also down into the hips. Allow yourself to notice how this feels. You can stay upright, or maybe you decide to walk your hands out and release to your forearms. So coming into that calming forward fold, you can lower the head down if that feels good. It does create some compression in your abdomen. And just breathe. Now, pressing into those hands, lift your torso up and come back to center. And then we're going to bring our left leg forward and bring our right leg back. And taking time to adjust here until that feels comfortable and you feel balanced. Again, bring your attention into your pelvis. We'll sit tall. Inhale. And on the exhale, just tucking that tailbone under slightly. Inhale. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. And exhale, a gentle tuck of the tailbone. And once more, inhale. And once more on the exhale. Very small movement, very subtle. And then bringing both hands over to the left side of the body. Again, twisting through the hips and waist. You can stay here, or you might walk your hands out and release to your forearms. Lower your head if that feels good. Coming into deer pose on the opposite side. Now inhale, lift your head, and on the exhale, walk your hands back in, and then we're going to come over our crossed legs onto all fours. So we're going to take a moment and come to our tabletop position, another one of our basic poses, positioning wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Check in with the muscles of the back, allow yourself to engage the muscles through the upper back, the mid back, and low back. Keep your neck neutral so you're gazing at the mat. And breathe. Now on your next inhale, maybe lifting the head, lifting the tailbone. Let the center of the torso drop down toward the mat. So notice as you do that, if you need to engage the muscles more fully through the low back to keep tension from rising up there, doesn't have to be a big dramatic movement again. And then on your next exhale, rounding your tailbone, rounding your shoulders, bring your chin to your chest, and open the space between the vertebrae. Now, if you like, flow through this a few times, inhaling and exhaling in cat-cow. So it's not as important that we go through this quickly as that we really notice how it feels. Inhale and exhale. Now once more, inhale. And once more on the exhale. Now taking the knees wide, bring your toes together. Let the hips come back toward the heels. Release to your forearms and stack your hands, letting your head rest on your hands. Widen the knees as much as you need to release some of that tension across the low back. Explore pressing your hips back toward your heels a bit deeper. And breathe. Now extending those arms out in front, lift up the hips, bring your knees in, and walk your hands forward. And we're going to release our chest down toward the thighs with the hips still up in the air. So the chest doesn't necessarily have to come all the way to the mat. This is puppy pose, actually. So just begin to release the chest closer to the mat, stretching through the arms. Now inhale, lift the head, and on the exhale, walk your hands back in. Begin to extend your right leg behind you, stretching through that right leg. Lower your right hip so it's level with the left. And then take that right leg and cross over the left, tuck your toe. Look over your left shoulder at your right foot. A lateral flexion of the spine and hip opening stretch. You should feel this somewhat across the low back as well. And then inhale, bring that right leg back to center, and on the exhale, release it down. Inhale, straightening that left leg, press through the heel, keep your gaze on the mat, and then decide if you'd like to take that left leg over the right, tuck the toe, and look over your left shoulder at your right foot. Now inhale, bring that left leg back to center, and on the exhale, release it down. Now from here, begin to tuck your toes. Now press into those toes and begin to lift your knees up off the mat. And we're going to alternate releasing first one heel and then the other down toward the mat. Inhaling and exhaling, just alternating and stretching through the back of the legs. And once more inhale, and once more exhale. And then release those knees down wide. And push your hips back toward your heels. Maybe let your hands come to rest beside your ankles. Palms up. Rotate the wrists, wiggle the fingers if you have any tension in the wrists from downward facing dog. Now from here, extending the arms out in front once again, press into those palms, lift the hips up, tuck your toes, and once again you can alternate those feet, or you might lift up onto the balls of the feet, press your chest toward your thighs, and begin to release the heels a little closer to the mat. They don't have to come all the way there. Now inhale, lift your gaze. And then begin to walk your feet towards your hands and bring your hands towards your feet. And let your chest rest on your thighs. Bring your hands to your elbows and let the weight of the head and arms draw you forward, releasing some of that tension in the low back. Make sure that there's a bend in the knees as much as you need. You can begin to rock a little side to side if that helps to release the low back. Now from here, release those elbows, bend your knees a little deeper, sweep the hands across the floor, and then inhale, lift those arms up overhead, and let your hands come down to your chest. So coming up into our standing mountain pose, we'll just do a few of the standing poses to release the low back. These are really effective. And again, when we come to standing mountain pose, 1 to 2 fist width apart for the feet, soft bend in the knees, activating your thighs. Let the hands come to rest in the center of the chest. Lift up from the base of the body and up through the crown of the head to begin to elongate the spine. and engaging all the muscles through the core. Now inhale, lift your arms up. And on the exhale, we're going to sweep those arms out to the sides. We're going to start to bend at the knees, hinge at the hip flexors, and release the heels of the hands into your hip flexors. So the heels of the hands pressing into the hip flexors, and allow yourself to come to a flat back. Now those knees can be bent as much as you need them to be, or you can have them as straight as you like. We're just going to come to a flat back. Keep your elbows in close to your sides. Press your elbows and shoulders back toward your hips, and just lengthen through the crown of the head. So if hamstrings are tight, you definitely want to keep the knees bent. And just feel the length in that spine. And then on the exhale, again, bending the knees deeply, release your chest down to the thighs. Take your hands, sweep them across the floor. And once again, inhale, come back up the center, and exhale, and release. This time, we're going to inhale and lift the arms up overhead. And on the exhale, sweeping the arms out to the sides. We're going to hinge at our hip flexors. And again, you can bend the knees. We're just going to stop at a flat back here. And then begin to release your hands down towards your shins. Again, we want to lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then begin to release your chest toward the thighs with as much bend in the knees as you need to. Maybe you bring your fingertips toward the floor. They don't need to be. They can stay on the shins. Again, you can bend your knees if you like. Maybe you release the hands all the way down. You might begin to straighten the legs just to where it feels good. Now bending the knees, we're going to inhale and come back up to standing. And exhale, releasing your hands down to the center of your chest. Now once more, inhale, lift the arms. And on the exhale, again, sweeping the arms out, hinging at the hip flexors, pause at a flat back. Take both hands behind you, lengthening from the crown of the head to the fingertips. And then bend your knees, drop your hips back, and allow those hands to come forward. Extending arms out in front, coming into chair pose. Take a look and see if you can see your toes in front of your knees, if not, scooting the hips back. And then on the exhale, once more, folding forward. Placing the hands down on the mat, walk your feet back, coming back into a downward facing dog. Knees can be bent, or you can straighten the legs fully. Maybe the heels are still up off the mat, that's fine as well. And then once again, release those knees down, toes together, push the hips back toward the heels, coming back to child's pose. Now pressing into those palms, we're going to lift our hips up and we're going to swing the legs around and find our way onto our backs for a moment. So as we come to the back, allow yourself to adjust so that your back is comfortable on the mat, and then begin to lift your feet up off the mat, hands on the knees, and just make some small circles first in one direction. So just taking them over to the right, draw them into the chest on the exhale, over to the left, and inhaling as you move the knees away. So it's just some gentle release of the low back, a gentle massage. Inhale and exhale. And we'll complete one more circle. When the knees come to the chest, take a moment and pause. And then begin to take them over to the right, moving them away from the torso, over to the left, and back toward the chest. The circle a few times in this direction. Relaxing and releasing through the low back. Now when the knees come back to the chest this time, Allow yourself to explore where you want to bring them in association with your chest. You can draw them all the way in, or you can keep them out away from your body. Begin to notice how it feels across the sacrum and low back. Also give some compression in the abdomen, so check with both. Hands can remain on the knees, or you can wrap the hands around the shins. You might rock a little side to side here, releasing tension across the low back, a little gentle abdominal massage as well. Now coming back to center, you might even lift your head up towards your knees, rounding the entire back. And then releasing, lengthening through the head as you release the back of the head down onto the mat, the shoulder blades as well. Allow your knees to open wide. Let your hands rest on the knees. So we're exploring an external rotation of the inner thighs, also a good stretch for the hips. You can stay here, or you can take those hands down to the ankles. Maybe you interlace your fingers and wrap them around the feet and press your knees open a little wider. This would be a supine Baddha, I would call it in yoga, but it's like a butterfly type pose. But it's a static pose where we press the knees open. So it's not a bouncing motion, just gently press the knees to where it feels good. Now from here, we might reach for the edges of the feet or place your hands between the thighs and the calves. We're going to keep our knees bent and lift the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling. So this is Happy Baby. I know it looks like a strange pose, but it's a great way to relieve back tension. So notice that the space between the shoulder blades widens, the sacrum's flat on the mat, good hip opening stretch as well. You can stay here, or you can rock a little side to side from knee to knee, maybe a full back massage if that feels good. So only doing what feels good. If you get a suggestion and you find that doesn't feel good to you, don't pursue that. It's not necessary. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Let those knees come together as well. And we're going to extend our legs up toward the ceiling. So legs up the wall. And again, reminding yourself that if you have a wall close by, you can explore this with the wall. It's a great way to relieve the tension in the low back. It also is great for anxiety and insomnia reduction. And so notice you're getting a good stretch through the legs. Now, if you have back issues, tight hamstrings, tight quadriceps, weak hip flexors can all contribute to that. And this pose actually helps to alleviate a lot of that, as well as being good for your heart. And allow yourself to point the toes and flex the feet, noticing the stretch in the back of the legs. So again, a good way to stretch the body. And when your hip flexors become strong, it allows you to keep the legs elevated for longer periods of time. You become less fatigued as you point and flex. This time as you flex, press the soles of the feet toward the ceiling. Press your low back into the mat to help alleviate some of that low back tension. And then begin to bend those knees once again. Now, allowing your knees either to stay in close to your chest, or you can place both feet on the floor. We're going to let the knees release to the right side of our body. So we're coming into a supine twist. We have both shoulders still on the mat, the knees to the right. And you might extend that left arm out and look toward that left hand. So if the knees are closer to your chest, it's more compression in the abdomen, knees further away, less. But once you come into this pose, really when you come to any pose, once you're there, notice where you can soften. So notice that shoulder, notice the torso, hips, knees and ankles. Can you just let go of a little tension when you're there? Really noticing. Notice where you're clinging to the tension, where you might just be able to let go of a little bit. Now inhale, Bringing those knees back to center, either in toward your body or away, and then release the knees to the left side this time, and extend your right arm out. Turn and look at that right hand. Again, see where you can soften, where you can let go of some of that tension. And breathe. Now inhale, bringing those knees back to center once again. We're going to place both feet on the mat, just hip distance apart here. And so sometimes we do the position where our feet are wide-legged, where we do constructive rest pose. We're going to do some pelvic tilting, but with our feet just hip distance apart. We're going to come into bridge pose. So to begin with, on the inhale, we're going to begin to just lift that tailbone up slightly and press your mid-back down into the mat. So we just want to do those simple pelvic tilts. We did them in a sitting up version earlier. This is a little less challenging. And so on the exhale, release your tailbone down to the mat and allow that mid-back to arch up slightly. And then when we inhale, we release that mid-back down to the mat and let the tailbone tilt up slightly. So basically, we're just keeping that back down on the mat with just very gentle somatic movement. And exhale, lift that mid back up. So inhale, tailbone lifts. And exhale, tailbone releases, lifting that mid back up. Inhale, tailbone lifts, mid back presses down. And exhale, tailbone releases, mid back lifts. We'll do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Just a gentle releasing of those muscles. Now this time, as we inhale and lift that tailbone up, we're going to continue and we're going to peel the spine up off the mat, one vertebrae at a time, pressing into the soles of the feet, lifting the hips and pelvis up toward the ceiling. Now only come up as far as feels good to you here. And then on your next exhale, begin to release each vertebrae down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time, slowly releasing the entire spine down. And then allow yourself to come back to neutral for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, once again, we're going to let that tailbone tilt up slightly and begin to peel the spine one vertebrae at a time up off the mat. Coming up to the shoulders. And then on the exhale, once again, allow that spine to come down toward the mat one vertebrae at a time. And just let your mid-back come back to neutral. And we'll just do that one more time. Inhale, let that tailbone tilt up, and then slowly peel the spine up off the mat. And exhale, releasing the spine back down toward the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Now once more, just lift those feet up off the mat, draw the knees into the chest. Again, maybe wrap your hands around the shins and a gentle rocking side to side. And allow yourself to begin to extend those legs down to the end of the mat. Reach the arms overhead, stretching out from the fingertips to the toes. Full body stretch. You can point and flex those feet a few times if that helps you to release some of the tension. Maybe reach through the right arm and right leg. Left arm, left leg. Maybe right hand, left foot. And left hand, right foot. And then come back to center, flex your feet and let them relax outward. Ease your hands down next to your hips, palms up. Adjusting the shoulders if you like as we come into Shavasana. Feel free to make any adjustments at this time to allow yourself to become 5 or 10% more comfortable. This is the time where we allow ourselves to begin to let go of doing, finding our way into a position that allows you to feel comfortable and supported. Eyes can remain open or gently closed. During eye rest, we're guided to notice and find physical sensations, the breath, emotions, thoughts, and feelings of well-being or joy, and to experience yourself as the witness of all these comings and goings. Whatever you experience is perfect just as it is. Now simply rest at ease and allow my voice to guide you. Welcome every experience as a messenger that's inviting you to explore sensations, emotions, and thoughts without trying to change, fix, or make anything happen. As you welcome whatever's arising, your body and mind are learning to remain at ease while you discover the place within you that's always at ease and peaceful. Experiencing yourself to be unchanging well-being, witnessing presence that's welcoming everything. Now feel your body settling completely into stillness. Bring attention to your senses. Notice the taste in your mouth, the sounds around you, smells, images or colors behind your eyelids, the touch of the air on your skin. Your senses open and alive. Now allow your inner resource to emerge, a special place where you feel secure and at ease. Perhaps it's a room or place in nature, an image or a favorite symbol, or just the feeling of deep peace. Whatever your inner resource is, imagine it using all of your senses, noticing sounds, smells, tastes, colors, shapes that are present, sensing feelings of security, ease, and well-being as you imagine your inner resource. Experiencing feelings of security within you that are always available at a moment's notice. As you do this, note in your body where you feel warm and relaxed, knowing that you can return to this secure place of well-being at any time, during your practice or during daily life, whenever you need to feel secure, calm, and at ease. Allow your heart's deepest desires to arise within, something that you want more than anything else in life. There may be a desire for yourself or for another, or for the world around you. Whatever it is, allow this longing to rise up naturally as your deepest heartfelt longing. Perhaps it's the feeling of being whole, healed, and healthy, being free of worry, concern, the deep feeling of self-acceptance, peace, or well-being. Whatever it is, welcome and affirm your heartfelt desire in the present tense with your entire body, as if it's true right now. Then set your desire aside and notice how it returns at the end of practice or as you go about in your daily life. Bring to mind your intention for today's practice. How would you like to feel during and as a result of the practice? Perhaps a sense of inner peace, joy, or well-being. Perhaps relief from physical discomfort, cravings, or emotional pain. Your intention may be as simple as to remain alert throughout the entire practice. Whatever it is, allow your intention to emerge fully, feeling your intention as an ally, supporting you to be focused and alert through your practice and in your daily life. Affirming this and the feeling of your intention with your entire body and mind. Noticing how it supports you during your practice and in your daily life. Now let the sound of my voice be your guide and support you in experiencing sensations throughout your body. As I name each area, you may feel sensations that are present or nothing in particular. But whatever you experience is just as it is in the moment. Bring attention to sensations inside the mouth, roof of the mouth, the floor of the mouth, inside cheeks, left and right, back of the throat, tongue, the entire mouth, a field of sensation. The ears, left and right, sensing both ears at the same time. Welcoming the breath as pure sensation in the nose, left nostril, right nostril, both nostrils at the same time. Left eye, right eye, both eyes together. A field of radiant sensation. Sensing your forehead, scalp, back of the head and neck, inside the throat, left shoulder, left upper arm, forearm, wrist, left palm, and fingers, the entire left arm, right shoulder, right upper arm, forearm and wrist, right palm and fingers, the entire right arm, both arms together as a field of sensation, upper chest, upper back, solar plexus, mid-back, abdomen, low back, the entire torso, a field of sensation. Left hip, thigh, knee, left shin and calf, foot and toes, the entire left leg, right hip, thigh, knee, shin and calf, foot and toes, the entire right leg, sensing both legs at the same time, sensing the entire front of the body, back of the body, left side, right side, sensing the entire body, inside and outside, as a field of radiant sensation. And be aware of all that's now present in your awareness. Feeling yourself as the one who is aware of everything that's present. First sensing what's present, and then experiencing yourself as the field of awareness in which everything is coming and going. Become aware of the body breathing, the flow of the breath, the sensation in the nostrils, the abdomen gently rising as the breath flows in, and releasing as the breath flows out. No need to change anything. The body breathing naturally and rhythmically. In breath, abdomen rising. Out breath, abdomen releasing. No need to change anything. The body breathing itself. Become aware of the fields or flows of sensation through the body. In the mouth, face, scalp, neck, throat, shoulders, arms, hands, torso, pelvis, legs, and feet. Awake and alert, the body a field of radiant sensation. And be aware of all that's now present in your awareness. Feeling yourself as the one who's aware of everything that's now present. Sensing what's present. Then experiencing yourself dissolving into being the field of awareness in which everything is arising. Remember that anytime you experience the need to feel secure and at ease, you can return to your inner resource at a moment's notice. Now bring attention to feelings that are present throughout the body, such as warmth or coolness, heaviness or lightness, comfort or discomfort, allowing them to blossom fully into your body. If no feelings are present, as may happen, simply welcoming whatever is present. And if it's helpful, locate the opposite of this feeling. If you're feeling warmth, find coolness, heaviness, find lightness, comfort, find discomfort, welcoming an opposite of feeling fully into the body. Now welcome both opposites of feeling into the body at the same time, without thinking, simply experiencing how doing this affects your body and mind. Now bring attention to an emotion that's present in your body, or one that you're working with in your life. Or recall a memory that invites a particular sensation or emotion into your body. Welcoming the emotion as sensation in your body. Invite this emotion to unfold fully as sensation in the body. And if no emotion is present, there's no need to make anything happen. Simply welcoming whatever's present. If an emotion is present, where are you feeling it in your body? Allowing it to blossom fully, while welcoming thoughts, images, or memories that co-arise with this emotion. If it's helpful, allow an opposite emotion to emerge. Perhaps recalling a memory that invites this opposite emotion into your body. And if an opposite emotion is present, where do you experience it in your body? Taking your time, welcoming this opposite of emotion. And now, moving back and forth several times between opposite emotions, experiencing first one and then the other, sensing how each is experienced in the body. Now inviting both emotions into awareness at the same time. Without thinking, simply experiencing how this affects your entire body and mind. And be aware of all that's now present in your awareness. Feeling yourself as the one who's aware of everything that's now present. Sensing what's present, and then experiencing yourself as the field of awareness in which everything is arising. remembering that there's no right or wrong way of doing any of this, and that you're welcome to return to your inner resource at any time. Welcome a thought or belief that you sometimes fall into or take to be true about yourself. If no belief is arising, simply being with whatever's present. If there is a belief present, as you hold this belief about yourself to be true, where and how do you feel it in your body? Sensing how this belief affects the entire body. Noticing any images, emotions, or thoughts that co-arise with this belief without trying to change anything. And if it's helpful, bring to mind the opposite of this belief. And as you hold this opposite belief about yourself to be true, how does it affect your body? Welcoming any images, emotions, or memories that also emerge. Being present in your experience just as it is without trying to change or fix anything. And now, in your own rhythm, alternate several times between these opposites of belief. Welcoming first one as true, and then the other. Experiencing how each belief acts upon your body and the mind. Now welcome both beliefs at the same time while experiencing how this affects your entire body and mind. And be aware of all that's now present in your awareness, feeling yourself as the one who's aware of everything that's now present. Sensing what's present, and then experiencing yourself as the field of awareness in which everything is arising. Be attentive to sensations throughout your body of pleasure, happiness, joy, or well-being, or perhaps a particular event from your life that invites feelings of pleasure, joy, or well-being into your body right now. Welcoming whatever emerges just as it is. Perhaps experiencing the sensations of joy as an inner smile that radiates from your heart. The heart smiling. And this smile of sensation expands throughout your entire body, flowing out into your torso, arms and hands, down into the pelvis, legs and feet, flowing up into the head and face, mouth, lips and eyes smiling, the entire body smiling, radiant and alive with a feeling of joy or well-being, or a sense of being okay just as you are. And be aware of all that's now present in your awareness, feeling yourself as the one who's aware of everything that's now present, sensing what's present, and then experiencing yourself as the field of awareness in which everything is arising. Dissolving into being pure awareness itself, open and spacious, being awareness in which everything is coming and going, awareness in which everything is welcome just as it is. Being awareness and reflecting upon all that's now present or has been present, sensations, emotions, beliefs, joy, well-being, the experience of being pure awareness. Everything just as it is, yourself just as you are. And come back to your inner resource, your place of ground, security, and well-being. Noticing your breath, easy and rhythmic. Forehead at ease and cool. Belly, hands, and feet, warm and at ease. And bring to mind your intention for this practice. Perhaps noticing the formation of an intention for your next practice. Recall your heartfelt desire as a resonance of sensation in your body, experiencing it as an accomplished fact in this moment. And imagine going about your daily life, noticing sensations, emotions, and thoughts, all constantly changing, yet all the while feeling yourself as unchanging, spacious awareness in which everything is coming and going. Now taking your time transitioning to your alert and wide awake state of wakefulness, sensing your body, the room around you, eyes opening as you feel ready, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes, moving your body, reorienting yourself to where you are and where you're going, coming fully alert and awake. Perhaps before ending your practice, experience the feeling of gratitude for taking time to practice iRest, welcoming and loving yourself, experiencing yourself as timeless, open, and spacious well-being that's perfect just as it is, and yourself as whole, healthy, and perfect just as you are. Yourself as unchanging, spacious awareness in which everything is unfolding. And the understanding that you always know the perfect response to each moment. As you take the time to welcome your deepest knowing, thanking yourself for taking this time to practice iRest meditation. I want to thank you all for sharing your practice with me tonight. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. From my heart to yours. Namaste.